Many thanks for sticking with us. It's still the pulse now to the rest of our stories, and many Zongo communities across the country. Marrying young people in that community is common, and this is because many of the girls in such communities have little or no motivation to go to school or pursue a career. In today's edition of Joy News Agenda, we're focusing on Zongos, and Matilda Wamega returns from the Ashaiman Zongo with the story of a young woman who quit her marriage to pursue her true dreams because she was married off too young. She's advocating for a scholarship scheme and counseling unit to address the growing demands of the Zongo youth.
Over the years, communities such as the Ashaiman Zongo have been left behind in development planning, which most often than not results in their needs not being properly identified. This results in the lack of basic social amenities. With the coming of government's flagship Zongo Development Fund, this is expected to bridge the development gap in densely populated communities such as the Ashaiman Zongo. The Ashaiman Zongo is obviously one of the most prominent and frequently mentioned Zongo communities in Ghana. Beyond the slum, the insanitary conditions and the negative perception of persons born and raised in Zongo, the status quo is gradually changing. Inside one of Ashaiman beauty salons, Fati does makeup for women in this area. Fati is a young lady in her late 20s. She was born and raised in this community. She married at a very young age. Fati believes young ladies in Zongo communities who missed out on formal education can still make something meaningful out of their lives.
Most of our parents are being influenced by money. So in this case, when the person just comes in and has something small to give to the parent, and they are confused. So our parents should just exercise patience. Sometimes they should listen to us. Your girlfriend will get married, and she's like, she'll be throwing the veils at you and stuff. Sometimes.
So, okay, the veil which symbolizes the marriage.
You know, sometimes it gets to a point that's like kind of competition. Everybody wants to settle down. Everyone wants to settle down. I was just eager to settle down. So I was able to, grab one.
We just carried away.
No, I was able to grab one. And so I got married.
So why did you decide to leave the marriage?
He was out of town, and I had so many opportunities to, work and stuff. And he kept telling me not to do it, not to work. I should just be home. He would do everything for me. And everything too wasn't coming. If I come back home and complain, and my parents are like, it's not anything, just for the sake of marriage, just go. But I realized I was just doing myself so many harm. You understand? I was left all alone.
So you decided to come out of the marriage?
Yes. It wasn't easy. For now, most of our ladies, we don't want to be the housewife types. We want to also support the family and cater for our children. Sometimes when you depend on the men, they are not very supportive. You end up just being home, doing nothing and useless. So it's about time we just rise to our feet and do what's best. In this modern era, things are changing by the grace of God. Girls are being encouraged to enroll themselves into schools and other trades.
Hasia is one of the apprentices in Fati's beauty shop. She wants to become a beautician. She has unique skills in dressmaking. Her biggest worry is how to find enough money to set up her own beauty salon after her training.
I started to have my handwork. So I went to learn how to sew.
Okay.
Yeah. So gradually.
So you dropped out of secondary school to learn how to sew?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I completed it, and later I got married.
Okay. Yeah. Were you married off like it's usually done in the
No. On my free roll. I did it on my free roll.
So how is marriage for you?
For now, I'm off.
You are off?
Yeah.
When you say you are off, how do you mean?
I'm divorced.
You are divorced?
Yeah.
How long did the marriage take?
I think 7 years.
7 years.
Yeah.
Part of the 100 million cedi Zongo Development Fund must also be targeted at creating counseling units within the Zongo communities. Fati and her friends believe this is one surest way of shaping the mindset of the youth in the Zongos.
You can ensemble all the youth at a spot. So when there is a counseling unit in a spot where if the child or the youth is having challenges, is having any problem, where he or she can confide in a person to bring out her issues to be addressed, I think that would help.
Through their own efforts and support of family and friends, these young women are already building themselves up with a career. They have high hope the Zongo Development Fund will go a long way to improve lives, only if a non-partisan approach is adopted towards the distribution of projects under the fund. This is of concern to the chief of Ashaiman Zongo, Alhaji Ibrahim Salisu, and some opinion leaders.
But I think if we don't play politics, it will go a long way to go. Because in terms of any outbreaks, it doesn't know any political affiliation. We will be all affected. So I think when we don't play politics, it will be good for us all.
The development fund can succeed if they put the partisan thing aside. Because when the thing started, the last time when the minister came, as if, it belongs to one person. And they forget that whenever they voted, they all belong to us.
The Zongo Development Fund is one of government's flagship programs aimed at bridging the development gap in the country. For JoyNews, Matilda Pamaga, Ashaiman Zongo.